BRB UK. Worse teeth, better accents.
Hello. Wow.
What happened to you?
Wow. Football. I was watching it. My voice doesn't work. Episode 449. I'm Dan. This is BRB UK. Hello. It is still coming home, but it's bloody late. I've been here in my slippers and my dressing gown for hours. My hot cocoa's now tepid cocoa. I'm not very happy about this situation. Football, you rapscallion. You should behave better. Hello. Hi, Coleman. He's with me as well. How you doing?
Take that, Denmark.
Yeah. I don't know about you now. As someone who doesn't regularly watch Pig Bladder Ball that much, this may come as a surprise to you.
I mean, you call it Pig Bladder Ball, so that should be a pretty decent indicator.
You'd think, wouldn't you? I'm finding myself realising how little I know about football.
Right.
I know nothing about football. I know the ball goes in the goal. When it goes in at one end, that good. When it goes in at your end, bad. I also know that 3 goals were scored in yesterday's game. 2 of them were for Denmark, but 2 of them were by people from Denmark, which is a little bit disappointing for them. But hey.
Good.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's one of those weird things where like there's a big win and England go off to the finals, and the one guy on the team that is the big football fan out of the 3 of us isn't on the show.
Maybe that's why he's just still overcome with excitement.
I've been getting into football lately. It started up. Yeah, well, I did a thing of spoke about it on the show a little while ago. I played FIFA, the latest FIFA installment, because it was on EA Play, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to give it a good old college try at FIFA. Never got into these games, and still not really into it, but got more of an interest than I'd ever had before. But then following on from that, it made me kind of go and kind of partnered with a bit of feeling homesick for my hometown to go, I wonder what Portsmouth's up to these days. So
the Pompey.
I started checking in with Portsmouth, and then I started watching more Portsmouth games, which is very difficult to do when they're not in like the main league. And I did that, and I followed them. They had some good wins, and then they got knocked out. And then I was like, well, what do I do now? Oh, look, the Euros are on. Yay.
Me and you need to play a comedy game of FIFA at some point. It's on Game Pass. It's on EA Play. Yeah, I'm assuming you got Game Pass Ultimate.
Yeah.
Do we need to do this and just show how? I mean, I can remember. Sit down, kids, because Uncle Dan's going to tell you a story. I remember like it was yesterday, November 2013, all those years ago, when the first Xbox One came out, the big plastic monolith that it was, pretending to be a VCR, but it wasn't. Doing things nobody asked it to, and only played games moderately well. But anyway, I digress. Me and Kev have both got one on day one. Unfortunately, the only thing really that was available to play was FIFA 14.
Son of Rome.
No, never.
That's why you played FIFA.
Yes, when I played FIFA. And I think if you go to my profile on Xbox Live, you can still see Kev and Dan play Pig Bladder Ball. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. It's right up there with my wrestling victory with under the guise of Trump supporter, which I am in no way. I made a comedically bad Trump supporter character. Unfortunately, he was quite good, despite being a dickhead.
No, I don't think you had. I don't think you made a wrestler that managed to somehow improve your performance on the game. I think that you had the secret ultimate power of Xbox's lag at the time, trying to play WWE 2K16, I think.
Oh yeah, that was not good. I had the secret power of not giving a rat's ass. It's what I had.
It was a fun day.
It was a fun day. So Coleman, talking of fun days, tell me what you've been doing to keep your days fun. What have you been playing?
Yeah, so what was I talking about last week? Oh, that was it. I finished Miles Morales and platinumed it, and then thought I feel like knocking something else off my to-do list. So I finally jumped back into God of War.
Architraving the front room? No?
Sure, why not?
Okay. And you platinumed Architraving the front room.
That's what I did.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Great. Good chat, Coleman.
I picked up God of War day one, started playing it, couldn't really get into it. I think because I was still playing the first Spider-Man game at that point, it couldn't really keep my interest. And I think there's some points at the start of that game that if you're not fully on board, you get a bit bored of quite quickly. There's like a slight hurdle to overcome if you're not fully invested in that game. So Tim ended up playing my copy all the way through while I went, yeah, I'm all right playing Spider-Man here. And then because of the PS5 app, patch that they put out for God of War, plus me having a PS5 now, I thought now is a good time to play some God of War. And it played great, and I thought I couldn't really see what the improvements of the app were providing compared to how I was playing it last. So I switched it back over.
Turn them on?
No, I switched it back over to the PS4 app for the PS4 version of the game, and went, oh no.
No.
So I carried on. So what the PlayStation 5 patch does is it lets you play the 4K visual goodness mode with the HDR and stuff. But it lets you play at the unlocked frame rate, which, well, it's performance mode. So in the PS4 Pro mode, it meant that the visuals weren't as stunning, but it played at 50 frames a second, or just over 50, or just under 50. Now it does a full 60, and everything is beautiful, and it looks great. And I really enjoyed playing that game. And if I hadn't seen God of War before and you stuck that in a line of PS5 titles, I would have thought that was a PlayStation 5 title I was playing. I very much enjoyed it. I rolled credits, decided not to go through and do all the side missions and stuff right away, but having a quick glance at the trophy list, it's a very achievable platinum. So I think I'm gonna...
God, you're a trophy hunter now.
I'm not though, but I don't know, something about getting a platinum, and I think I've got 14 platinums now in total, and one of those was a complete fluke because I got the Little Big Planet platinum without platinuming Little Big Planet. So if you look, yeah, exactly. If you look, I've got like a handful of trophies and then a platinum. I was just playing one day and it went ping, and I went, all right, I don't need to do that anymore then.
Well, it is funny because having been playing games exclusively on PC for a while, I had forgot the goodness of having the lizard bit of your brain tickled by an achievement rush. Something going, beep, well done, you did a thing, makes you feel all warm and fuzzy inside. And oh my god, this is old news to everybody except me. The new epic achievement sound when you unlock a rare one, it goes all words to that effect.
I mentioned that when I was talking about, I can't remember, one of the Game Pass titles. And if you pick a fairly obscure title that no one's really playing, it's like every achievement you get is the rare achievement. So you hear that sound every single time. It's pretty satisfying.
Or pick a really garbage game, and then no one would have pushed on through it. Rise, maybe that's where I can get my fill of super awesome achievement sounds.
I think you might have left that one a bit too late. But yeah, I might go back to God of War and platinum that. But now I'm kind of trying to figure out what I'm playing at this point. So I've just been doing some casual, some Avengers and some Fuse, and that's about it. Refuser, sorry, not Fuse. That's a very different game.
Yeah, it's a very, very different game. Good. And you're going on about the PS Play app as well. So what's all that about?
Oh, well, I'll save that because that kind of links into yours. I'll get to that in a moment. Okay.
Well, Coleman, we played a fun game last week of What's in Dan's Drawers of Mystery. Let's play it again. Do you want to see?
I believe you said
I have a treasure trove of wonders in my drawer here. I do. I do. Okay, you ready?
Yes.
It's a Razer Kishi thing.
Doing a complete Tim here. Dan has picked up the object and is showing it to the camera.
Hey, look, I've got to channel my inner Tim now that he's not here this week. Yeah, no, I thought I'd pick one up because
they're good.
They're actually really, really chuffing good, and just trying to do touch controls on a phone to play games remotely is a complete bloody nightmare. And with all of the kind of cloud services that there now are, NVIDIA GeForce Now, I kind of got a subscription to the graphics card, obviously xCloud, and also an increasing number of mobile games support controllers natively now, such as Clap Hands Golf, whose touchscreen controls were kind of okay, but it's goes from a check it out if you like golf games to a absolutely try this game out. It's worth paying for a month of Apple Arcade for, because with a controller it properly feels like, you know, clap hands golfs of old. So yeah, or Hot Shots golfs of old.
Or everybody's golf.
Everybody's golf, wherever you are. Golf, it feels like it now. So yeah, but no, I've been really impressed with the Razer Kishi. Actually, it does eat batteries for breakfast. I will tell you that. Not its own, because it draws all of its power from the phone.
Does it? You
Yes.
can charge your Kishi.
Can you?
Yeah, you get a little charging slot on the bottom of it.
But I thought that was pass-through charging.
Well, because when I plug mine in, I assumed it had a battery inside, because when I plug mine in, it gives me the option to draw power from the phone or draw power from the Kishi.
Hang on.
I might be completely wrong.
I'm now going in my cupboard of treats.
Plus, if you plug it in, there's a little LED that flashes up that indicates that it's charging.
To charge your phone whilst in use, and to quote the French, sticks analogiques cliquables. Clickable sticks. I don't think it has got a controller, mate.
Oh, okay.
A
battery. It's got a controller. It is a controller, Dan.
It is a controller. It is obviously a, yeah.
Okay, well, I'm mistaken then. But yeah, it's a great piece of kit. The problem I had was the kind of big test for me would have been the Game Pass, but for some reason, the Game Pass app just absolutely craps the bed whenever I try to use it. It stutters all over the time, and the signal just jumps up and down constantly. I found some relief to that when I was playing on the browser version, which if you use the Opera gaming mobile browser, which came out recently, you can make sure all your RAM's conserved to just the play on that, so it works very,
One
very
of my
well.
favourite things to conserve.
But the kind of real test
forced to use Chrome irks me.
The best kind of use for it I've had so far is, rather than using Game Cloud, doing a remote play of the Xbox and playing it that way. It seems to work very well. And then I thought, oh wait, PlayStation has that. Maybe I could do the same with PlayStation. The PlayStation app does not support the Razer Kishi, only PlayStation controllers.
Of course, because that's a classic Sony move right there.
It is. However, I did some digging around, and there is an app out there called PS Play, which is a paid app, $4.99, I think it is. And that accepts the Razer Kishi and also has a bunch of customizable options on like what you want to set your bit rate at, or your frames per second, or if you want to set it to 1080 or 720 or whatever. And it's a much more versatile app than what PlayStation has on offer as the bog standard. So if you're willing to spend a $5, Razer Kishi to play your PlayStation games really, really well.
Mm. No, but I've been very impressed with the Kishi, actually. Although one really interesting... Oh, it's not that interesting. I'm slightly gussying that up. But one thing I found, because it like on my phone...
Moderately interesting.
Moderately, something of mild titillation to you all will be the fact that when I slap my phone into this bad boy after removing its case, that's the only slight annoyance. It's about the size of a Nintendo Switch, I would say. But what my brain does, as soon as I've got something that's approximately Nintendo Switch size, my brain just goes, all right, your A and B buttons are the wrong way round. So I'm trying to play Xbox games, being told to press A, and I'm pressing B. It's very confusing. I'm a senile old man. I don't know why this happens. I blame Nintendo. Nintendo, this is your fault.
There is...
It just is.
Yeah, I mean, the thing does seem very geared for Xbox in the button layout and stuff. So, and there is actually an Xbox version of it you can get that has the Xbox buttons on it and Xbox Game Pass printed on it and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if those are available in the UK though. But great bit of kit. What I mainly use mine for though is I installed RetroArch on my computer, on my phone.
Oh, nice.
It's on my computer as well. But that way I can stick all my old arcade machine ROMs on there, and I can play like Turtles and Simpsons and stuff on the go, which has been great.
Now, young fella, my lad, did you have adventures installing RetroArch on your Xbox Series S?
No, I did it on my Xbox One because I wasn't using it anymore and thought this is a perfect thing to experiment with, and I have a Microsoft developer's license, so why not? It works, but it is very slow when you compare to just loading ROMs and all the workarounds and stuff you have to do to get them onto your actual hard drive rather than sticking a USB in each time and loading the ROMs each time.
Because I've heard it's rather splendid on the Series S and Series X, and I've been moderately tempted to give it a go. And I could serve up content to play on it from my home NAS. So that could be interesting.
I mean, it works. I would say if you're gonna, the only kind of downside is every time you use it, you have to stick it in developer mode and go to system settings. So developer mode to play RetroArch, and then switch it back to play Xbox games. It will take you off Xbox Live and stuff, and so it's a bit of a pain doing that. But that's why I did it on my Xbox One, because it's something that I don't need to keep restarting and changing back and forth. And I thought, hey, Mainbox, that sounds like a brilliant thing to call my Xbox. So I need to tinker around with it some more, but I specifically wanted it just for arcade games, because I have my RetroPie my little Game Boy case version thing, and as I discovered when I tried putting arcade ROMs onto there, not great, because there are certain button configurations that you can't do on that case.
Oh, really?
Such as insert coin and start the game. And then if you try configuring the controller, the built-in controller to do stuff like that, you can completely disable all your inputs, and I had a problem with that. So, yeah. So far, Razer Kishi and my S10 Plus is the best thing the best success I've had for playing arcade games on the move.
Yeah, well, I do like it. I've got a couple of days away from home coming up. We are living life dangerously. Going to go to the Cotswolds, because that counts as danger in the times of COVID. But no, I'll be giving a bit of a go on the road, seeing how cloud gaming fares up on hotel internet, because that's going to be the weak link in that particular chain. So good times, and it means that you can sit wherever you like in your house and play your Xbox or your PlayStation with HDR visuals without having to spend money on a telly, because that's where I've gone wrong. I've got Series X, but I do not have an HDR screen in my house.
Because I was looking up because my girlfriend's phone contract's up before mine, so I got her new phone, and that's how I got my Kishi. They bundled it in with the phone, and also a year of Game Pass. Then my phone contract's up in a few months, and I'm still on 4G at the moment, so I'll be going for a 5G phone. And you can get packages that if you play Game Pass, then it doesn't eat into your data at all. Okay. Yeah, it's like a separate package on EE that you pay X amount a month for. So I'm thinking I might go for that, because it seems to work very well on 5G, just not on 4G and not on my Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Or my work's Wi-Fi, as I found out as well.
I mean, there may be reasons for that. I doubt their network setup is primarily designed for cloud gaming.
Yeah, could be that. But I like mucked around and split the Wi-Fi signals and all kinds of stuff here to try and get it to run, but I run into the same issue every time. And it's specifically the app, not the browser version. I don't know why that is.
But it's interesting, the top tip about the lightweight Opera browser, because in the kind of hacky way into xCloud that Microsoft have implemented for iOS devices, is that you have to use the browser version and save it as like a browser app. So I'd be interested to see what the performance is in Opera versus Safari on my iThings.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
I'll let you know.
See, I don't, because the Opera app was sent to me as an APK from the company to sort of go, hey, try this out, talk about it on your show. And then I forgot until just now. So
Well done.
I don't
Well
know if
played.
it's. I don't know if they've released that version of Opera on iOS yet. I'll have to
Can
check.
confirm. Just downloaded it.
Oh, there you go. Brilliant.
Opera GX.
That's the one. That's the one.
It's got 5 out of 5 stars out of stars.
Although isn't it on iOS like basically all the browsers are technically Safari? They're just wrapped slightly differently to incorporate features. I heard something about that a while ago.
I mean,
don't know if
I
that's
think
true.
I think the way Apple have done it is that
Give us your money or get out.
we'll see. You can choose between the fast action button, FAB, and standard navigation. It seems like it. I don't know. I'll try it, mate. I'll try it, and I'll report back. But I completely take your point. Probably, it's the biggest performance gains are going to be on a more open platform like Android, rather than the walled garden of Apple.
So there's a bit of a drought of video games at the moment, so hence we're not talking about anything new right now. But there are some gaming headlines if you want to hear some news.
Oh, well, tickle my fancy with those, Coleman. I am particularly excited. If you could furnish me with the story of something that looks like it's something shiny and new, but is actually not, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, and as everyone knows, the Nintendo Switch, as has been rumored as the Nintendo Switch Pro for quite some time, thanks to a lengthy article by Bloomberg, who went, hey, there's going to be a new Nintendo Switch iteration. It's going to have a better battery, CPU, RAM. It's going to do checkerboard 4K. It will have HDR visuals and new kickstand and wired connection and all this kind of stuff. It's finally been announced. It's called the Nintendo Switch OLED model. Great
More
name.
like old model, am I right?
And as the title suggests, it's an OLED touchscreen. It's ever so slightly bigger. It's gone from a 7.4 to an 8-inch screen.
Mm-hmm. That is, you're a whole extra 0.6 inches.
Yeah, so they've removed the black bezel from the outside and just increased the screen, which is what Nintendo do with all their iterations of handhelds.
And as all of their previous iterations of handhelds, when they do this malarkey, the resolution of the screen exactly the same as the previous version.
Yeah, that's a bit of a. I mean, some of the rumors were true. There is a new kickstand, like a big flat kickstand at the back, rather than
which looks much better.
Yes, I've seen that on kind of plug-in things that you can stick on your Switch and have a better kickstand on the back, and so I'm glad they've lifted that. That's a great one. It's got the new screen, and on the dock, there's a new dock as well. There is a built-in Ethernet port to kind of replace the USB Ethernet ports that you might have purchased to stick into your console. But
indeed.
That's it. You got some white Joy-Cons, and
which look quite nice.
They do look nice.
The dock has been, to use a technical term, slightly sexified as well. It does look a little bit nicer, and I also understand that the internal storage has gone up from 32 to 64 gig.
Yeah, which isn't huge. You'll still need to buy an SD card for the thing, but. Yeah, it doesn't offer any kind of 4K output. The RAM is not. The RAM and the CPU are exactly the same. It is basically the same system with a larger screen. It takes all the old Joy-Cons and stuff onto there. As you said, the resolution of the screen is still 720, and because it's interesting. A little while ago, my girlfriend started playing my Switch more, and I like to take my Switch with me to work to play on the tube on the way to work. So if I take my Switch out, she obviously can't play it. So I thought, well, I might buy a second one, and then she can play one and I can play one, and everyone's happy. And then when the rumors, this was around about the time of the rumors of a Switch Pro of some form, I thought, well, I'll wait and see what that's going to be. And this would be completely useless for her because she doesn't play it in handheld. I don't play it in docked unless I'm capturing footage. So all these improvements are likely to be completely useless to her because she's not going to see this new improved screen. She's not going to care about it being hardwired because none of the games she plays are online anyway. So Yeah.
So I think the challenge. So the challenge is because they actually did a stealth upgrade from the very first iteration of Switch to what is currently on the shelves as the standard Switch. So not the light Switch.
It had an improved. It was the version that they were doing an update, so you couldn't. This is the one that stock in the box was updated, so you couldn't crack the firmware, which was an issue with the earlier Switches. But also, it had an improved battery life.
Yes, because I think they updated the APU in it. They bunged a new version of Tegra in it. Which, because although on paper that new chip they put in it is a boost in performance, actually the way Nintendo have done it is kept the performance the same, but just realised the gains and improved efficiency at that performance level, which is why you get more battery life out of it. So there may be an argument if your very first OG Switch from 2017 is getting a bit long in the tooth, its battery life is nowhere near as good as it used to be, there might be a reason to upgrade, but for the vast majority of people, this is not an essential upgrade in any way, shape or form. I'm sure the OLED screen is going to be exceedingly nice, but it's still going to be the same Switch. So much so that, Nintendo have even told developers, look, there's no way to query the system to work out if you're on a standard Switch or an OLED Switch. All of your games will behave the same. So
the other thing as well, it looks nice and it has a nice screen. So if you predominantly play it in hand, well, the thing is, if you're playing it in handheld only, then why not just get the cheaper Switch Lite, which makes sense. Which again, I'd like to go for one of those. It's smaller form factor. It's colourful. It's nice. I like that. I only play in handheld, but again, I do the capture for the show, so I can't then do any capture. It looks nice. You can still do the docked and take it out. It has the nice screen and everything, and the new improved dock. But is it £309 nice? Is it more expensive than an Xbox Series S nice?
Yeah. And I actually think that's it finds itself in a really weird place, how it's positioned in the market. Because the Switch Lite, if you're just going to be playing handheld games, is the better value proposition here. If you want to have sit-down gaming as your primary focus, assuming that it isn't Nintendo's back catalogue that you're interested in, it doesn't look that great value compared to a Series S at the moment. Or even, dare I say, for a 40 or 50 quid more, should you be able to ever find one ever, a digital edition of the PlayStation 5.
So I will give you a bonus to this, something a little plus to the announcement. So if you like the look of the new shiny dock with the Ethernet connection and the rounded edges and apparently spaced out more because I don't know about your Switch, but mine's got some surface level scratches on the screen from being put in the dock repeatedly.
I have a screen protector on mine for that reason.
Okay.
Although it does have some shiny bits due to the tightness of its girth. Slipping in at the bottom.
So if you do just like the look of the dock, Nintendo will be selling them on their website separately.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Does the front of the dock light up?
I don't know.
It looks like it might. I thought it'd be rather cool if it did. When you dropped it in, the front of it lit up.
I mean, maybe like a little line LED like they do on the initial dock. I'm pointing to it and you can't see it. I don't know why I'm pointing to it. But the other good thing about this, I don't know if you've ever felt the need to get a second dock for your Switch, like I have, because I thought about having one by the TV, one by the computer, kind of thing. But initially Nintendo were selling their docks for £100 and something, which just seems mad. Why not just buy a second Switch for that price?
Yeah.
They have reduced them to about 65, I think now.
Wow.
Which still isn't great for a piece of plastic, but if you buy the original ones, they do come with the HDMI and the charger cable, whereas the replacement ones, the new Switch OLED model docks, do not. So there you go.
Interesting.
Now, there have been... I was wondering, as soon as they did the announcement, I was like, okay, this is the iteration, and how long before the rumors start kicking off? Straight after. Do you think this is the kind of, this is the one to go, hey, this is the new Nintendo Switch, the upgrade to this is the budget version, and then a little bit later down the line, they're going to go, here's the 4K version?
No, how I think they're going to play it, and this is a bit of a well, actually not how I think, how they could play it, and I think would be a sensible way to play it, is because they're very much in cahoots with NVIDIA here, right?
Yeah.
Whereas Nintendo and
it's basically
Nintendo,
a shield.
Yes, basically that. But the technology, the kind of architecture of the chip inside it, I understand. I think might not be Ampere, it might be the generation before it. But regardless, it should be able to take advantage of NVIDIA's DLSS technology, which is a really powerful way to upscale games whilst maintaining nigh on perfect visual fidelity. So whether or not that is something Nintendo are going to do and just go, boom, look, we've enabled DLSS, all of your games now are upscaled, so essentially they can render something at a lower internal resolution and scale it up without any noticeable artifacting or any kind of jarring artifacting. Would be interesting to see whether or not they give that as a freebie or whether or not that is something you need to pay to unlock. I wouldn't know. I am, of course, entirely guessing for the sake of just saying something.
Take a fistful of salt and pepper all over that.
But they could do that. They could do that.
They could. I don't see this being one of two special models that are rumored behind the scenes. No. I do think this is it, and the people at Bloomberg may have got the wrong end of the stick and guessed some stuff or try to jazz up their article a little bit, maybe.
Yeah,
it looks nice.
It looks lovely. I mean, it very much, I think we're in a similar spot of the timeline for the Switch as the 3DS was when it started having its kind of
new 3DS
mild upgrades, but without, in terms of screen quality, screen size, just general fit and finish. We're about that same point now, so I don't think there'll be another. It won't be an upgrade to the Switch that is designed to be user facing. So by that I mean more graphical horsepower, output higher resolutions, HDR support. I don't think we're going to see that. I think we're going to be waiting until probably 2 or 3 years from now. But if they could get some form of ray tracing tech into a handheld device by their partnership with NVIDIA, that would probably be a moderately big deal, but would probably eat batteries like nobody's business. Yeah.
I mean, personally, I think because Nintendo, they brought out with the DS and the 3DS especially, they brought out iterations that are more powerful and had the specific idea of playing games that are unique to those portables, much like they did with the Game Boy and the Game Boy Color. They had a whole line of Game Boy Color games that you couldn't play on the Game Boy. And then the Game Boy games you could play on the Game Boy Color. When the DSi came out, I think they only released one game that you could only use on the DSi, and then went, actually, no, that's a bad consumer idea. People don't like it. Walk it back. And then did the same thing with the 3DS. They went, okay, there's going to be new 3DS, and you're going to be able to play all these games on the new 3DS that you can only play on the new 3DS. So you get your upgrades in now. And then they released, I think it was a re-release of Xenoblade Chronicles.
Yep.
And SNES games. So I think they want to avoid doing that because they've tried it the last 2 times and it's not gone over well, and they've kind of walked it back. Saying we've got a new system that's going to play these games specific to the system doesn't really equate to more sales for them. So you might as well do what Sony and Xbox did in the last gen, make sure everything's playable on everything, which they tried on the 3DS. Hyrule Warriors, a port came out to the 3DS. Worked really well on new 3DS. Very, very bad frame rate. A lot of people complained about the old 3DS version of that game.
But I also think the fact of the matter is that kind of what's really driving kind of the popularity of last gen back compatibility, or further than last gen back compatibility, is one, there's not a lot of people with these new consoles in their hands yet because of shortages, meaning that the financials of leading on the true next gen platform aren't quite there. So there is very much an interest in making the previous gen of stuff playable, so people feel like they're getting some value out of their shiny new box, but are at least being kind of drip fed, visual upgrades a la God of War 5's PS5 update, kind of the Xbox Series S and X enhanced stuff like you see in Gears of War or Forza Horizon, that kind of stuff. So we'll see.
Yeah. If you are interested in the Nintendo Switch OLED model, then that's going to be released on the 8th of October. Like I said, £309 in the UK.
Yowza!
It seems too much for a Switch that doesn't have... I mean, even if they went, okay, we're going to do checkerboard 4K like the PlayStation 4 Pro, I still don't think that I'd be down for a £309 price tag just for that feature.
No.
You know?
I mean, that is a lot of money for that. A lot of money, and I think you could get much better value than that for your £309 gaming wise. I would unless it's handheld. If it's handheld gaming you want, get a Switch Lite. If it's TV based gaming you want, assuming that you're not hellbent on only playing Nintendo exclusives, I would very much push you in the direction of a Series S.
Yeah,
would be my top tip.
I haven't seen enough improvements for me to get rid of my old model, and I'm happy with my old model. And I may very well just get a light down the road so I can have mine to take out and then keep the old one for, my girlfriend can use it, but also I can use it for capture. It depends. I haven't really looked into what the state of moving your cloud, your saves over between consoles and stuff back and forth on a constant basis is.
Being Nintendo, I would imagine it's going to be a colossal pain in Uranus.
Is it going to be like the DS whenever you'd move your stuff? Do I have to watch Pikmin carry each individual save file over? I mean, it's cute, but it's not quick.
No.
So I need to look into stuff like that.
No.
Dice LA.
Dice Law.
We're aware of their work.
Dice Law.
They're having a rebrand. They're going for a name change at the moment.
Why?
Well, because they've decided now is the time to rebrand for some reason.
Why?
I don't know, Dan. But
I don't like change.
Well, I mean, you got Dice and Dice LA, so why not? And it separates you from the Dice Awards, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dice LA is changing their name. They're now going to be known as Ripple Effect Studios.
I have a question.
Yes.
What kind of Ripple? Are we talking Raspberry?
Raspberry.
Excellent.
Or Galaxy.
Lovely.
Galaxy Ripple.
I want to go over there to LA and lick them just to see if that is indeed the truth.
Next time I'm in LA, I'll go see them and ask.
You do that and lick
I will.
them.
And lick them.
Lick
the
them.
studio building.
I demand you lick their headquarters.
Yeah, so...
And report back.
But anyway, they're going to be starting a new project once Battlefield 2042 is done and dusted.
I guess what it is, Battlefield 2043 is what I'm guessing.
This is meant to be a new IP, I think is the idea. And they are under the tutelage of one Respawn Entertainment founder, Vincent Zampella.
Oh, really? Yeah. EA and new IPs. EA and new IPs. EA, new IPs.
I mean, it'd be nice to see more of them because EA has a tendency to just kind of throw everything out there, see which ones make the most money, and then run them into the ground, but with a slight more restraint than Activision has.
Although its last brand new earth-shattering IP was Anthem, and well...
Yeah, okay. I'm hoping they've learnt from that and they're
really
not, I mean, all right, maybe they're not.
But, hopefully there is the right ingredients to come up with the recipe for success, but I am... I'm mildly skeptical about Big Mama EA's
Big Mama
willingness.
EA.
Big Mama EA, and her willingness to really take kind of the big risks that are needed to really kind of make something innovative with the new IP. But hey, look, we'll see. We'll see.
We'll have to see if this is reflected. I mean, at the moment, as we're recording, we're a couple of hours away from EA Play Live.
Because of course we are.
Yeah, because for some reason, Thursday is the new day to be showing all this stuff off. Lockdown's still technically in effect in a lot of places. Maybe do it on a Friday night or a Saturday night.
Wash your flipping hands.
Just avoid Sunday, because I hear there's some kind of football going on that day.
Oh, God.
Yeah, not only are we missing EA Play Live 2021, but we're also missing the latest PlayStation State of Play, which is apparently meant to be a very heavy focus around Deathloop.
Really? Well, to be honest, what else have they got ready to go that they can focus on?
It's funny as well, because that's a Bethesda game that they managed to tie down as an exclusive before the purchase from Microsoft. It's like, they can show Deathloop and I'll go, yeah, this is really cool. And then remember that at some point, like a year down the line, this isn't going to be a PlayStation exclusive anymore, and it's going to be stuck on Game Pass day one when it comes out on Xbox. So I might just not buy it for that reason.
Well, there is that, I have to say.
It's a shame. I don't want to say it because it looks great. But
is it coming to PC as well?
I think it's PlayStation PC for launch, and then wherever it may go after the exclusivities run out. And that's the same as Tokyo Ghostwire Tokyo, or whatever it's called, the other one that Bethesda has. And lastly, this week we've got Nacon, or is it Nacon, or is it Nackaroon?
I have a question.
Yes, Dan.
Aren't these the folks who make controllers and did the twisty controller for the PlayStation thing?
Yes.
You know the one I mean, the twisty one.
They do a lot of the arcade, the third-party arcade fight sticks. This is Nacon. They're a French developer, French publisher, and not only do they do all kinds of sorts of peripherals available for your consoling needs and PC needs, but also they do publish video games. And they did Nacon Connect. I hope it's Nacon, because I keep saying Nacon or Nacon. I reckon it's Nacon.
I'm going to troll their website. We can bring them up. Oh, they're shut.
Oh, dear.
Oh, actually, no, they're open for 2 minutes, so I can bring them up and ask them.
Go on then, quickly.
I bloody will.
Go on.
I bloody
you
will.
Call France. See if I care.
No, it's an 0808 number.
You're the one who speaks French, sort of.
Since when?
Tell them about your clickable thumbsticks.
101 0970. Is 0808 a premium number?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it is. I'm not going to. Hello? This is Nacon. May I direct your call? I'm going to stop at this line of little skittich, because I'm very worried that I may say something that could be misconstrued as not very nice, and I could get cancelled by everybody.
I might get called an ignorant racist.
So I'm going to put the phone down now. You have fun playing your video games. Au revoir, my friend. Mon chéri.
Anyway, Nacon Connect 2021, that's where they went, hey, let's go. We're going to show a bunch of stuff on YouTube, as most publishers do want to do these days, like the EA we're going to be talking about next week. Quite a lot to show off, but a lot of them are updates to existing titles that they've already been talking about. So Blood Bowl 3, the Lord of the Rings Gollum, which I think I'm the only person in the world that seems to be excited about this game. I don't know why no one's getting on board. Players Gollum.
Let's roll that back. Why should people be excited about it?
Just play as Gollum.
Right.
It's good enough for me.
Okay.
No, it just looks cool. I like the look of it.
Okay, well, good for you, I guess.
They had a couple of big stories out this week, and some are a lot of them are kind of non-gameplay trailers. Wow, get my words out. Non-gameplay trailers. The big one that they ended their show with was Robocop Rogue City, which is a first-person shooter based on Robocop, which I really like the idea of, especially after kind of how well the Terminator first-person shooter went down recently.
I have a question.
Yes, Dan.
Why did they call this Nacon Connect? Well, they could have just called it Nacon Connect.
I don't know. Phone them and ask them.
Oh, they're closed now, mate. Also, 0808 is totally a premium rate number. And
0808.
0808.
Hello, 0808.
Hello. This is the Nacon. You are getting it again. What is your Robocop?
I'm hoping they're making like one of those games that does take all the aesthetic from the 80s movie and like the way it looks and all the. I mean, they had is it Peter Weller that played Robocop initially?
Yes, it was.
Yes. He actually came back to do the voice for the Mortal Kombat DLC.
Okay.
Yeah, for Mortal Kombat 11. So I could see him totally coming back and lending his face and voice and stuff to the role, which would be totally cool.
Wasn't there, back in the day...
What,
back
4
in
sequels
the day,
on a TV
wasn't
show?
there a first-person Robocop 3D game?
Possibly. I had a really bad one where it was kind of like a light gun game, but you used your mouse, and then there was that was it. There was I think it was like a 3-part game. It was a light gun game, but you use the mouse on the Amiga. Then it turns into like a driving sim, but again, it's on your mouse and you click on the middle of the steering wheel and you move left to right to steer. And then the other part was a flight sim where you're Robocop in the jetpack from 3, I think it is. The really bad one. It was not a good game.
No, there was definitely... was it Robocop 3, I think, was 3D?
I had it on Amiga, so...
Yeah.
It was 3D.
Mm.
It wasn't good. It was very slow.
No. I wanted it to be good. I remember playing and wanting it to be good, but yeah, it was dog poop. As they say, oh la merde de chien.
But I'm
as
hoping,
they say in Nacon.
All you really get of this is kind of a silhouetted Robocop close in on the leg holster, and you get a bit of a shot of Detroit and the logo and stuff. So you're not really going to see too much out of it. The next big announcement they had was Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown, which is a test drive game set in Hong Kong. And again, no gameplay to speak of, but that sounds really cool. And they were showing off kind of like the dark cities, neon lights and chasing in and out. And I'm all for that. I don't remember any Test Drive Unlimited games apart from the one that kind of came very early on the Xbox 360. I don't know if we've had any since then.
I don't think we have, actually.
Okay.
I may be wrong, so I apologies if I am wrong. But yeah, I mean, again, I think with a lot of these, with these Nacon Connect, I'm just going to rename it that because it's a better name.
Go for it.
A number of these trailers really are... they're a pre-rendered CG sizzle reel that actually tell you very little about the product that you'll be getting.
They did a sit-down interview afterwards, though, with the developers to kind of tell you what the game is about. But yeah, basically open-world racing game set in Hong Kong, and I'm all for that.
Yep, fair
with
enough.
shiny licensed cars. That's all you need.
Yes, although Hong Kong is an interesting setting at this particular time, I have to say.
I mean, there is that.
Yes.
But for those that wanted you wanted Tokyo for Forza. How about Test Drive in Hong Kong?
Hey, look, it's the Forza Horizon wannabe in the wannabe that wants to be Tokyo. So hey, look, it is like buying a pair of trousers called Hoggo Bush. It's not Hugo Boss, Hoggo Bush. It's the same thing. Essentially, most people think.
You too have been to the Gosport Market in the 90s.
But yes. So hey, look, and there seems to be a lot of thing about diamonds as well. Lots of diamonds. There's probably going to be some kind of bloody heist in this or something. I don't know.
It looks like it's going to be tied into some kind of underground Hong Kong mafia gang type thing. in the background. But yeah, that one's coming out the 22nd of September 2022. Also, I forgot to say, the Robocop game is slated for 2023.
Yes, it is.
So this is why we're getting pre-rendered trailers of games, because there's no game to speak of yet.
Yes, indeed. I also see test drives slated to come out on the Switch as well, amazingly. Which is rather surprising, I have to say.
There was another trailer for there was a trailer for Vampire the Masquerade Swan Song, which
Isn't
is
that
never
out already?
No Vampire the Masquerade game is ever coming out. They're just going to keep showing us trailers.
Yeah, all right, fair enough.
Yeah, and quite an interesting selection of the life simulators. They showed so Life capitalized. It's a series of different life sims essentially. One is a Chef Life, a restaurant simulator, hotel life, a resort simulator, train life, a railway simulator, and then they announced that there's also going to be surgeon life, a hospital simulator, and architect life, a building simulator.
So many people.
I don't know how you are with simulation games, but architect life actually does kind of sing to me in this one.
Well, the thing is, it depends how seriously it takes itself. That's the only thing. I don't need to... I don't need more busy work in my life. You know? I don't know. If I can just, in the comfort of a video game where no one's going to get hurt, can just slowly lose the plot and just, be the world's most psychotic chef, that would be brilliant. I don't know why chef, but I think I probably would be pushed over the edge by being a chef. But it's like, great and everything, but what's the angle other than something just a bit tedious? Here's a game about something tedious. Look, this is just as tedious as your job. Welcome to the world of tedious jobs. I don't know, perhaps I'm being a bit harsh on it.
I don't know. Some simulation games I do like for relaxation. I used to really like Tube Simulator.
Okay.
London Underground Simulator. In the early days when I moved to London, I was like, this is dumb, but I kind of like it.
Do you like to imagine you were the one who could do the witty remarks over the intercom?
Mind the gap.
That's
all I wanted to do. I liked that you control the doors opening, and then you can watch the passengers come up and shut them quick.
Excellent. You see, now that's what I would want in a life simulator. The surgeon simulator. What do you mean it was the right leg that was meant to come off? Well.
It's fun to mess around in those games, even though they usually just result in a fail state really quickly. They don't really incorporate you mucking around too much, but they're getting better over time.
But you see, that's why things like Surgeon Simulator are so great. Not the life simulator, like the surgeon, because it is just ridiculous. And it's brilliant because it's ridiculous. Yeah. Doing a craniotomy on someone with a claw hammer. You don't do that in real life. Things are a little bit more, I hope things are a little bit more advanced than that. But, just because it is so obviously dumb, it's great. But, yeah, if it's a bit serious, I don't know.
Have you tried PC Builder?
Yes, I have. It's the only difference. Well, the difference I found is that strangely, when building a PC, there's always a point where you come out, you just start sweating for no good reason whatsoever. It's like you just start sweating because of fiddly bits and stuff isn't quite behaving how you'd want it to, or you realise you've just installed the motherboard and there's some bloody little plug that needs to go. It's usually the front panel connectors. It doesn't simulate well the frustration of front panel connectors, PC building simulator, but it's a fun way to kind of build your dream rig, live vicariously.
It seems pretty robust. I used to like that game just for, it gives you that opportunity to go, here's, because they use name products and stuff in there as well, and you can go, hey, here's a graphics card that I can never afford. I'm just going to stick it in and see what happens.
And watch the FPS numbers go up in this pretend PC.
That's fun. Anyway, those are kind of the big things from Nacon Connect. Like I say, a lot of them were updates to things that we already know about, and like WRC 10, Rugby 22, and Rogue Lords. So wasn't really worth going much into. And plus, it's all, again, a lot of it is pre-rendered trailers. So it's not really much to report on if they're not newly announced titles. But yeah, Gollum. I want to play Gollum.
Do you?
Give me that
Really?
Gollum.
Why?
Yeah. Oh, and also their PS5 arcade stick looks quite cool. The PS4 one that they brought out, that was because arcade, like decent fight sticks tend to be quite pricey. And I think the PS4 one was like 60 quid. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think...
price them.
Because certainly their fighting peripherals have always kind of struck me as the right balance of kind of price and quality. Obviously, they're not going to be as with them, you can go mega expensive and get like tournament grade fight sticks. But for most people, you don't need that. You want something that's well built and does the job good enough for what you need it to be. And Nacon, I always think of being very, very good in hitting the sweet spot for that for consumers. So. I just haven't really thought of them as a game publishing powerhouse before. Nacon. Hello.
Right. That's all the news that we've got this week. I'm sure we're going to have a ridiculous amount of stuff to talk about next week with all the game streaming stuff going on. We'll pick out some favourites. And because it all happens on the day we're recording, that gives us a week to actually figure out what we're talking about.
Shall we do some questions?
Yeah, go on then. We got 2 here. Let's go with Ricardo Kirk and Richard Kirk.
I have a request.
Go on then.
What is it? You who keeps messing with his name? Are you abusing the mod powers that I gave you in the Discord?
No, initially I messed around with his name in the agenda. He kept putting it. I think I misspelt his name once, and then I just kept adding on it each week. And then one day I changed his name in the old BRB forums, and now he has adopted that name in the Discord. So I don't think that was me. Was it me? I don't think it was. Anywho, he says, CNC4 was terrible. A really strange change to the established format. Which other sequels have changed up the recipe radically? Which did you like? Did any let you down as badly as CNC4? I've never played CNC4, so I can't say it let me down. The change between, and this one's quite controversial because people really seem to like Fable 2 out of the 3 titles, the 3 mainline titles that they brought out. I really didn't like the change from Fable to Fable 2, and I can't place my finger on what it was. I think it was just kind of exactly like a combination of things. It felt more dumbed down, and especially even more when it got to 3. It just kind of felt dumbed down for the sake of, I don't know if it was to develop the game quicker or to appease Molyneux or whatever, but there was something very special about the first Fable game, especially with Lost Chapters as well, which I enjoyed over. And I think the other thing as well, I kind of pushed through that game going, okay, I'm going to love the end, because in the end of Fable, you fight Jack of Blades, and in Lost Chapters, you fight like a big dragon. And when you get to the end of Fable 2, it's like, okay, so what's the big boss fight? There isn't one. You just shoot a guy and he's dead in one bullet. And if you don't shoot him, someone else does. Spoilers for Fable 2.
Wow. God damn it. Curse you spoiling 13-year-old game.
I still like that game, just not as much as I did the first game.
Yeah. I think the big change that I really liked, and again, this is a bit of a Marmite thing, is Super Mario Brothers 2, as in the UK-US Super Mario Brothers 2, which obviously was originally developed as a different game, Doki Doki Panic, yada, 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 but it was such a big change. But I actually really liked it. I still want it. It's still so refreshingly different. I enjoy that game still. In terms of one I didn't like so much, why the crap did they put tower defense in my Assassin's Creed game back? Which one was it? Oh
yeah, that was
it was one of the Ezio
Brotherhood
ones.
I think started
Revelations
that.
Was it Revelations?
It might have been. Yeah, it might have been Revelation. I think it might have started in Brotherhood, but
it might be. Oh no, it was Brotherhood, because I was like, what the is this really badly implemented tower defense game?
And it's a shame because Brotherhood was a really good game, and then they just added this tower defense stuff into it.
I was not a fan. Not a fan, Coleman. Didn't like it. No. It got my goat. Got my Billy goat. Another one was making Project Cars 3 an arcade racer, and therefore completely unlike Project Cars 2.
Yeah.
I didn't mind so much, but lots of people got really fed up with it. Anyway.
I think if you look at the kind of development cycles between how long it took them to make Project Cars and all the experts and stuff they got involved to how long it took them to make Project Cars 2, and they didn't constantly have this update to go, hey, we brought in this guy to do this and this guy to well-renowned specialist in seats and like all this kind of stuff. 2 just seemed to come so quickly after 1.
It was, hey, we like money, so here's another Project Cars 2.
Yeah.
Yes. Ed asks,
I don't know. Oh, yeah, go on.
Ed also asked, because Ed's very good with these questions, if there was a game where you could be a guest NPC with your own plotline, what game would it be and what would your side story be? He would be in the Yakuza games as an NPC desperate to see all of the landmarks in Kamachuro, who begs the protagonist for protection after they accidentally stumble into, in real life, Yakuza.
I would be an NPC in one of the Pokemon games.
All right.
But I would give, like, one of the random ones you go up to and they're like, hey, Pikachu is an electric mouse. Did you know that? And you're like, yeah, I did. Thanks. It's Pokemon. And I don't know. I would say something. I'd be like, I'd start giving information on various Digimon just to throw a spanner into the works.
Wow.
And I know nothing about Digimon. I could be like, Agubaruterimon is a lizard, I think.
Oh. What would I be? I think I would be probably Destiny. In Destiny, I think I'd like to be a new Cryptarch.
You be Destiny?
No, I want to be Destiny. An NPC in Destiny, probably a Cryptarch. A really sarcastic Cryptarch who takes great pleasure in giving you terrible rolls of things.
Oh, what are those really slow talking creatures in Mass Effect?
Oh, Krogans.
No, the like.
Oh, the blobby ones. Mr. Blobby.
Not the ones that are like one is pleased that you're not them. The ones that are like hello.
Like the big
Elcor.
Elcor, yes, that sounds right.
Elcor. There you go. I'd be an Elcor, but then if you click on my character, you'd have unskippable dialogue, and I would read out the entirety of War and Peace.
Wow, you sir are a dickhead.
Yeah, I know.
Wow,
I love my life as a dickhead.
Yeah. New age fun with the vintage feel.
Yeah, those are all the questions we've got. We've actually gone through the backlog now. We've gone through all the questions. So if you want to submit any, the best place to do so is on our Discord, which you can find a link to on BigRedBarel.com. But also, if you go to the show notes of this here episode in your app, there will be a link in the app description.
Come and say hello. Please do.
Yeah.
We like it when people say hello.
We're also available on Facebook.com/BigRedBarel, on Twitter.com/BigRedBarel, or at BigRedBarel if you please. And also we've got a YouTube, Big Red Barrel TV. Comments, tweets, Facebook comments, anything like that we'll
right, like,
see them
subscribe.
All. Oh, yeah. Hit that bell.
If you want notifications, hit the bell at the end.
Hit the bell the podcast, and we will... you will get a notification.
Ring.
We'll get a notification.
And I think we can all agree that I've got the appropriate voice to go, ladies and gentlemen, it would excite me greatly if you would ring my bell.
Gross.
Yep. Ring it. Ring it.
Do you actually, they've updated the bell on YouTube now. It makes a noise when you hit it.
Oh, does it?
Ding dong.
Well, that's what noise our bell will make once we can tell YouTube that we need that in
one day.
Our lives.
We'll work out how to do that.
Yes.
Reviews, if you can, you can review this podcast here in your own podcast listening app of some variety. Most of them allow you to do it now. Reviews on Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, Stitcher, or Castbox. Those are the ones that I can see if you give us a review, and we'll read them.
We have the best men and women keeping an eye out on
it's just me.
But it's just Coleman wrote a little bot in
Just
JavaScript.
me and my various RSS feed Frankenstein nightmare that tells me things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed. Yes. So there we go. Well, I think that's probably enough for a show. Tim, with any luck, will be back next week.
He wanted to say that he's going to be talking about Avowed on the Switch, which he says is great.
Avowed on the Switch. He does know it's a really busy news week next week, right?
No.
Excellent. Not
I'm
that
sure
that
he
will
does.
make any difference whatsoever.
But yeah, we'll be talking about Avowed, EA Play, and PlayStation State of Play.
Ooh, well,
Got
that
all
would be
to
quite
look forward
exciting.
to.
All of the things will be happening. All of the things. Well,
Top things.
we should probably go so we can start preparing ourselves for all the excitement that is going to come. So thanks ever so much for listening. As Coleman said, go to all the places on the internet with BigRedBarel in the names, and especially come say hello on the Discord, because we do like it when people do that. So all that's left for us to do is to remind you that I have been Dan,
I've been Coleman.
and nobody's been Tim this week. No one.
Oh,
No. Tim, you're not even here. That is
big old monocles.
Yeah, that is Coleman living
Hello.
vicariously. He's installed you as an AI into his
No.
computer.
Something's gone wrong.
But the good
SOS.
news is, if Tim Hibbs is the AI, Skynet not going to be a problem.
I mean, if Tim's the AI, all you'll hear is...
Basically.
Buttery biscuit, basically. It's right. That's what you'll hear. Right, we're going to go now. So thank you for listening, for downloading us. And until next time, dear listeners, toodle bye.
Good work.
Thanks, Tim.
You and your ears are quite welcome for the podcasting goodness that you just heard. Why not roll on over to BigRedBarel.com for more podcasts, news, reviews, and videos from the biggest, reddest site on the internet, BigRedBarel.com.
When I moved the Xbox, I thought, I'll stick the PlayStation under here and put it out the way. And since I've done that, the Wi-Fi signal in this room has improved, and I think that the PlayStation 5 is so large that it was somehow interfering with the Wi-Fi signal because it's right next to the router.